Sancti Martires, Sancti Grigori, Sancti Ambrosio, Sancti Ronime, Sancti Agostino, Sancti Martino, Sancti Antonio, Sancti Benedicte, Sancti Franceschi Clemente, Sancti Ignazio di Loyola e Francesco Xavier, Santi Johannes Maria Vianney, Santa Catarina Sinensis, Santa Teresia Jesu, omnis sancti sancti Dei, propitius esto, ab omni malo, ab omni peccato, ab insidies diaboli, a morte perpetua, per nativitate tua, per santa Dei tua, per crucem passione tua, per mortem sepultura tua, per sanctam resurrectione tua, per admirabile resurrectione tua, per adventum Spiritus Sancti Paracliti, Christi Fili Dei, qui pro nobis tentatus sappiamo, che vixatus Spiritus Sanctus Superest, qui discipulis tui potestatem vedisti super demone, miserim dexteram Patris nobis intercedere, que venturus ecce di caribus et peccator, quod nobis parca, quod nobis indulgea, quod transmittipsus in tuo santo servicio comportare conservare, quod mentes nostras diversas miserengas, quod ecclesiam tuam securativi paces libertatis, quod cunctis populis pacem in terra concordam nos exaudire dineris, Christi ave nobis, Christi exaudi, oremus Deus pro propriis misereris semper in pace, sus purificatione nostra, ut humbamus tuos, nomen Patri Filii, quas diabolici potestatis catena extingit, miserace purificatatis inter absolvit Christum Dominum nostrum, qui habitat in protectione altissimi sub umbra omnipotentis morali et vigil Domino refugium meum et fortitudo mea Deus meus sperabo in eiu, quaniam ipsi liberati de lacrimae financium verbo maligno, ali suis comprari vivi sub penas eius confusis vita veritas eius. Non timebis in demonibus turmas et vita volante in die, a peste perambulante in tenebres et exterminio bastante in meridia,
And pulled to sit in the chair. So you know that you're part of everything. There is no accident that you are here or listening to this. It is with your full permission, you know. And you may not know what it is yet that you are supposed to do about it, but know this. Simply your very existence to ask changes the planet. Did you know that? Just being here, listening, helps the planet. That's a message for another day. This peace of God in you is a balance. For also residing within you is the darkness of the dark, and it's got your name on it. Therefore, this duality, we said that, but you need to hear it again. The 3D approach to battle. The 3D approach to battle is that if you have an enemy, you defeat it. In 3D, you go to battle and you kill it, then it's gone. And you arise victorious and you say, that which was part of the evil in me has been slain and now it is gone. That's reasonable to you. So there are a lot of places where you can go to slay the monster within. And you don't have to look far for help with this. But this isn't the case with duality. For you are with it all your life. To destroy it means the death of the human. But many say it doesn't make sense to have an enemy that is so strong within me. And just let it be. It must be dealt with. But you do deal with this energy within you without the concept of elimination. Instead, we call it balance, and this, dear one, is an advanced concept for almost every human alive. For it must void out the instinct of survival in the core sense of the word. It transcends the flee or fight feeling and replaces them with a
Are
will.
we upside
That is
down
what we've
over
been
here?
trying to give you for
That's
18
kind of
years.
weird, isn't it? I don't
Therefore,
know how
this
that
lesson
happened.
2 is the acknowledgement of that which is in you, which you don't
That's
want to
sad.
even admit is there. It's a stretch to believe
Oh well.
that you have God inside, but it's not that hard to find it. But to believe that core evil is also within you is an insult to your intellectual self and the integrity that most of you carry for an honest life. In other words, this whole concept is one that you must examine out of the box. Revelations of the truth of duality. The duality reveals itself in so many different ways. I shouldn't even have to list them, but for those who are just coming into, I will. From those things that are minor to those things that are not. Drama is one. Drama. Have you met those human beings who survive only by spinning in drama? The irony is that they are the ones who will be on the phone to you, the light worker, for your balance, to carry a light that attracts those who are not. They'll say, there's more drama than I can stand in my life. There is this and there is that. I thought I'd handle this, but this came back. But when you hang up that phone, you know what will happen at the time, and it will be good. They will not take your advice at all. They just wanted a voice on the other end telling them what they already knew. Then the next day you get the call and you'll say, well, this has happened and this has happened and this has happened. It just seems to keep going. Finally, you might even tell them the truth. You might say, are you aware that you are drawing this all to you? That you survive on it? And they will say, never. I would never ask for such a thing, but they do. And I'll tell you why. Because they are comfortable with it. For there was no drama in their life. They would have to look at the shaman that they are. Blessed is the human being who has dropped the drama and seen the spiritual side. For quite often the drama hides something just as profound, a light that will pour into their life. But they are so afraid of it. Therefore, drama covers up having to deal with reality, and drama becomes comfortable. Worry is next. Worry about everything. Those who worry are those who feel that they are powerless to create anything. There are those of you waking up at 3 in the morning worrying about the fact that you don't have anything to worry about. When you start to balance that dark thing inside you call duality, one of the things that goes away is worry. Because you have a sense that the system is starting to work, and indeed, you're not alone. There's a plan, and worry starts to drop away. But it's that dark thing that wants to wake you up and say, well, look at this, let's worry about it. Then it gives you this. what you call a laundry list of things to worry about. That's when you can't even go back to sleep. Then you get up. You know what that feels like, don't you? That is absolutely human. Drama and worry lead to lack of self-worth and fear. You look at yourself in the mirror and all you see is an aging human being. And that's all you think life is about. Where is my youth, you say? Why can't I go backwards, you say? What is life all about? I am such a small part of the system. And that dark thing inside you will say, right on, boy. Have you got it right? You are nothing. You never will be. You're here by accident. When you die, that's it. You're gone. And for whatever reason, the human hangs his head and says, yeah. And your perspective, it may not be fair. What I'm about to say, but fair is 3D for you. It does not represent the grandness of what humans have set up for themselves on this planet. For the dark side of you is easy to bring out. The God side of you is not. The irony is that it is so easy to bring out that you have denied it and created an entity who is responsible, the devil. So it seems the devil is everywhere and God is nowhere. The reality is that this is the balance of duality. You have to look for God, but the dark side is always pushing the buttons. It was created this way and is fair and it's balanced. You will see why in the last section. For the discovery of the God self tilts the balance forever. There are reasons for all of this that are very profound but difficult to explain in 3D. There's got to be a balance, a yin and a yang to everything within nature. It's always about balance. The test of energy on Earth is done by pieces of God disguised as human. They are changing parts in this play of energy. They're not being tested, but rather are performing the test themselves. Where will the balance go when you give them both dark and light? And what will happen to Earth? The answers are hidden from you, but are part of the universal sound and the fabric of what everything is about right now regarding this Earth, the only planet of free choice for now. Those who give away themselves to these darker energies of their own duality will then fall even further to the next layer of darkness. Rage, hate, violence, death, murder without remorse. Indeed, you'll say, now, Mr. Crine, you're talking about evil. Really? And what is evil? I'll tell you, it's the dark side of what is in the human being ready to be developed and matured. If you want to go there to be an evil person, you've got all the power you want at your disposal. You can go right to it, for it is free choice. God won't stand in your way. Did you know that? Oh, there are so many humans that will say, well, that's when the devil's involved. He'll help me. He'll pull me down there. And there are cults who worship this very thing. The truth, nobody's pulling you anywhere, dear human beings. That is your free choice. Many humans go there because that's where they find their power. That's where they have power over other humans to create worry, drama, and control. The dictators of this planet, past and present, that's where they find their power. They get people to pay attention to them. If they murder enough human beings, it creates notches of fear on their power belt. That is what they do, and I don't have to tell you that. You know it. And I'll tell you, although that is evil, that is the human being exercising the power of evil. You may not want to hear this, but I have to tell you, it's needed for your full understanding of what comes next. The human being is powerful in both directions. It has the angel or the devil energies at its core. You're crying, you just told me there's no such thing as a devil. I don't believe it. I have been places and I have seen the magic. I have seen demons cast out of humans' bodies. I have seen physical forms actually crawl around on the floor and leave. Human being, do you believe in miracles? And so, who told you they were always with light? Do you remember me telling you about balance? Black magic is simply miracles created from the dark power of a human. A human being can do that. There are those who said, well, I've seen voodoo, it's so real. It's so real. People give themselves over. They're killed and they got sick only because of suggestion. That's evil. And again, I would say, welcome to the power of the human being. Look into your history. Look at the dictators who spoke the words that convinced so many people they were right, just so they could murder millions. I will tell you, this is the capability of the human, and it is powerful. The other side of the coin. Now, why would I tell you these things? Do not fear any of this, for I've only told you about what is the core of you, and you are in control of it all. There's another side to this, dear one. If you're reading this and hearing this for the first time, and this is lesson 2 for you, I want to tell you that this is going to get better. That dark part of further it's all over. Because you'll see something it does not want you to see. Free choice to see the balancing power, and oh, what a power. If you could see the bucket brigade of angels in your space right now, taking the energy of interest that you have developed, you'd be amazed. For they are getting ready to fight your fight with you. You come to this planet with a piece of God in you. The dark thing in you is set to temper the beginning energy that creates karma. It is for a reason, and you have it when you are born. How many of you taught your children to be angry when another child wanted to play with a toy? How many of you parents taught your children to be jealous or to go into a rage? And you'll say, I never taught my child any of these things. And I will say, I know. They came in equipped with it, and so did you. Are you beginning to understand? Now we get to the good news. You can balance this or not. Most of humanity just sits and allows it. That is to say that the perception is that it's with you in a balance that is just as strong as the other side. You see it in your culture every day. You're taught that you have to go report to the building and confess all the awful things that you are and have in your mind. That's a reprieve from God's anger for a little while. Then back comes the dark thing, and you've got to go back to that building and confess it again. What a concept of surrender. It's a constant yin and yang, is it not? Between being washed and being dirty. What mythology? Do you think God actually created that system? Here's what God created. Inside of you is a divine system for balancing this duality in a way where it won't be able to get a foothold. Use pure intent and say, Dear God, I am tired of this. Show me what it is I need to know to help put this in perspective. This is the beginning, for it represents you in an intent mode, pushing on the door of the other side of the veil, asking to discover the divinity inside. It will come the beginning of balance. And we told you that in the first lesson. It will come a complete and total system. It will put that dark side of you into a place that you won't be able to find. The duality of dark and light was created for the system on this planet. But these two energies are very, very different. The darkness within you has no idea what you're doing spiritually. Think about that. Those of you who make decisions spiritually and follow the map of intuition and discernment, who pull upon the peace of God in yourself, create an energy that is invisible to the other side of your duality. That thing that is dark has no idea what you're doing or what you're done. It's just angry that it cannot reach you anymore. Once you step into the light and begin this journey, that thing that gave you such a problem all your life is relegated to being non-essential. It's like a child in the back seat who pounds upon the seat, irritates you, and wants to know, are we there yet? That's all it can do, pound on the back seat, but it's always there, and sometimes it's louder than at other times. Some are bothered, even those who are light workers. They say, why is it there is such a cyclical attribute to this? I thought that my spiritual work would keep it totally quiet. Not so, since it is always ready to pounce. There are cycles of weakness. Again, it is a balance. Now, did I have to tell you this? Dear light worker, do not beat yourself up emotionally because you go through these cycles. Sometimes it is more difficult and sometimes less so. There are highs and lows, and it is totally normal. This is normal because, dear human being, you're always working the puzzle between this light and dark energy. It is an ongoing battle that will never end until your last breath. But those of you who've stepped into the light have the advantage. Although this may sound super simple, I'll remind you of my light teachings of many years. A stadium filled with darkness, with 10,000 people, will be affected by one who turns on one light. For when you turn on one light, no matter how dark it is, darkness as defined cannot exist. This is the power. So you see the fairness in this. Although the challenging side of humanity shows itself intuitively, and the God side does not, when you find the light, it pushes the duality into a status of limbo, where the darkness is trapped. Therefore, the power is on the side of the light. Light is active. Darkness is not. Darkness cannot show up and change a lighted room. But light will totally change a dark room. Perhaps it's time to try this with pure intent. Say, Dear God, tell me what it is I need to know. That starts the progress. Don't tell God what to do in your life. Instead say, I am ready to know.
I am ready to know.
And And that's when you begin to find out who you are. Don't be surprised if love flows into your heart. Don't be surprised if you find angels taking your hand and you can't explain the feeling. Don't be surprised if you have unexplained peace and fear. That's the big one. Take a look at where fear starts. It starts at the gut. This is a lower energy attribute of humanity. It has nothing to do with your enlightenment or your third eye. It starts in that place where you can control it. But if you don't, it will quickly move into your mind. The next time you have a fearful response, do you have the courage, the wisdom, the wherewithal to say, stop, I know what you're doing, do not move. Do not allow that darkness and that fear to go any further than the bottom of your heart. Let your wisdom and your love and your knowledge of who God is inside you take over. Then you will find the fear will go away. It will dissipate. Sometimes it will try to get you in the middle of the night. But even then, you can control it totally. Think of the love of God next to you in a protective, lighted state. Say, get away, get in the back seat. I know who you are. You are the dark part of me, but you are not driving anymore. Does all this sound simple? Perhaps foolish? Could it be the answer to so much of life's challenge would be this easy? Ask around, it's not easy, but it's a profound step of faith that begins to separate you internally from a part of you that you thought was from somewhere else. Many feel separation anxiety. We even told you about this in the Cryon Book 1. We call it the implant. It's an implantation of permission to change duality, and that's the light work. I told you what I told my partner Lee when he first started doing this. I said, dear partner, you now have the ability with your light to stand within the highest mythology of the planet. Stand in the pentagram. Do it while they dress up in funny costumes and chant odd words in order to hurt you. Let them try their magic on you. All you have to do is smile at their attempts. For your light is far grander than anything that a human being can conjure up with their own darkness. Far greater than any darkness even a group of human beings can create. For you've tapped into the source. Ask him, he did it. For there was a time when a group hurled their magic at him during the first trip to the United Nations, and the result was nothing. Darkness hurled at light creates no effect. That's the truth. The object of this lesson, dear one, is so that you hear the truth that you are more powerful than any dark thing on this planet. More powerful than any demon that you're told might be in you. And if you want proof, just press on the door to God. Let us in. And you will know that what I have told you today is true. That is why they call it a veil, for it completely hides what is actually there. Be aware, today we have not asked you to join anything, have we? Be aware, today we have not asked you to follow any protocol that introduces you to many books or lessons to buy. Instead, we invite you to read the instructions within the DNA that you came here with. Let mastery show itself, shamans that you are. That's the message of today. That's the only one that we're going to give like this one. It's
It was all the way to the top. I can't see. I can't see. Oh.
Oh, wait, I'm being guided to let y'all know. You know when I was telling you, well, y'all ain't even heard the message yet. Spirit said, no, you come to this at the beginning of the video. But listen, when y'all get to that part where I said your mother is in the energy of feeling like she needs to come tell you something because she know the karma is coming, it's simply because Spirit has been whooping her motherfucking ass, uppercutting her, giving her the three-piece combo, her ass down. What's that? Put her ass in a chokehold, motherfucking RKO in her ass, really beating her ass up. And I got the visuals of like a child who got a whooping and having to go apologize to a kid that they bullied. You feel me? Like, this mother was the bully who ended up getting punished by their parents, their ancestors, which is this woman who was getting spiritually beat the fuck up by her ancestors, and now she has to come in and apologize and let you know the motherfucking truth. Period. So
I'm gonna
yeah, I
try
just
to
wanted
fix
to let
this
y'all know
real
before
quick.
y'all got into the message. All right, go ahead. Hello, Coletta. Thank you guys for joining me for a late night reading, y'all. It's a late night. Hey, I don't know. I just decided to do late night readings tonight, y'all.
Excellent. I could turn this upside down.
Period. Y'all, listen, disclaimer before we get into the message. This message may not fully resonate with you or it may not resonate with you at all.
And it went upside down.
Take the parts that resonate, read the parts that don't, and flip the genders and the energy as necessary for your story. Okay?
Look,
So,
I just
y'all,
moved
we're
this.
going to do the reading a little different today. I pulled out one
Nope.
energy oracle, and we have the bottom of the energy.
Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens.
Doesn't
Without
matter.
knocking you out. Claritin Clear.
And it probably makes you bleed from the asshole too.
Man, we got the thinking man right behind it with the appreciation. So somebody done walked themselves right into a love situation after leaving a toxic family behind here. They definitely has some strength, some courage, some bravery. Yeah, after experiencing oh wow, so somebody received some devastating news that their family wanted to lay them to rest. Somebody had to have the courage to literally walk away. So we're gonna put some energy here to see what's going on here. First of all, again, guys, let's talk about this happy family in the reverse. So I do pick up on this happy family. Well, it's not so happy anymore. This is a karmic family here, but I feel like I heard they're tearing each other apart, going at each other's throat. What's that? Dang, off Looney Tunes, the Tasmanian Devil.
That's
How he
my
used to turn
favorite.
into the little tornado. Like, there's a lot of disastrous moments between these family members right now because you did decide to walk away. And that's crazy because look, I just looked at this light as I seen as I'm like talking. I don't know what made me look at that, but I feel like you guys had to receive downloads, insights, memories, flashbacks to help. Like I heard, like memory relapse. Like you really had to be reminded of your past family and their karmic ways because I do feel as though they were sending some type of magic towards your crown chakra, towards your mind, to influence you in a way to come back to them. I heard maybe they were doing come back to me spells, but I feel like you had to admit the truth to yourself that dealing with your family wasn't a good idea. For a lot of you, you knew that your family never meant you any good, but you continue trying to hold on to those connections in hopes that these people will change.
Yep.
But these people always remain the same. Even though you were changing, you were evolving, you wanted these people to do the same, they didn't want that for themselves. But they did want to leech off of you when you made it to the top.
Yep.
I ain't gonna do the work. I don't care how much you try to tell me I need to do it, but when you make it, I'll be there with you. I'll be at the table with you eating.
Yep.
Just as long as you won't be doing that inner work, you don't want to do the inner work, you're not gonna be at that table because you haven't did the inner work. Period.
Nope.
Ooh, my nose is itching as I'm talking about that. I feel like I'm being too nosy in these people's business. That's what I'm picking up. They telling me I'm being too nosy. I need to shut up. So look, we have the Empress in reverse. The Moon, the Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and the King of Wands. So whoever this Empress is, I do feel heavily. I'm picking up mother, auntie, grandmother, cousin, sister,
Mother,
even brother,
auntie, cousin,
for a lot
sister,
of people are watching you from a
even
distance.
brother.
And I'm getting like on some type of TV screen or a phone screen or something. So you guys could be doing something online, and these people are watching you.
Could be doing something online.
They're watching you possibly
Like,
from fake pages, from their own pages, but they're not.
I could be
coming.
going live.
People are hidden, but they're watching you. They're not making their presence
From
known as well.
3 different viewers
And I heard it's because
And they know when I'm going live so they can watch me. So now I'm watching them
Okay, so
watch
these people
me
that are watching you, I'm
watch
picking up the Three of
them
Pentacles here.
watch
These
me.
people know that you know they have been working together, which, as you can see, the moon here is sticking out on the side, even though it's supposed to be hidden. They know that you know what type shit they was on. And look, we got the Queen of Pentacles sticking out here, making herself known. I seen the Queen of Swords. Apparently, she don't want to be seen right now because somebody didn't like. Cat got your tongue. That's what I heard. Like y'all ain't caught these people up in they shit, and now it's like they ain't got shit to say. It's like they going in hiding, which is why they're effective there, which is why they're watching you from a distance and not making their presence known because they're in this embarrassed energy because you know so much, especially because you know about the money that they tried to steal. I heard they feel dumb. They feel dumbfounded. These people were hoping to try to get you to walk away from whatever it is that you were building for yourself to come back to them. Yeah, Page of Swords. What I say, these people are watching y'all.
This is why
Page of Swords is sticking out right behind the Three of Pentacles.
my mother was checking up on my
Pull it out, literally.
roommate while I was in Arizona
I feel like, okay, so with the Page
to
of
make
Swords
sure
making
that
itself known,
everybody
even though
knew
it was kinda peeking out,
that I wasn't
I feel like
here,
somebody's gonna try to make their
and
presence
he
known.
was,
But I want to know more about this King of Wands here.
so that my neighbors
We got a King of Wands
got the
out
word,
here real quick.
and then they told my
Why
landlord,
is this King of Wands
and then my
right here?
landlord told me to kick him out, or I was gonna get kicked out. So that I had to come back
Avoiding athlete's foot.
to kick him out
Daily prevention, so you could go with confidence.
because he wasn't getting out. I came back and he was still here
Who is this King of Wands?
a week after I kicked him out.
Don't use it.
So I had to come back within 3 days, 4 days
Oh my goodness. So this
to
could
kick
be
him out.
somebody who she's in a
Yeah,
situationship with. Because
return.
it's like a connection, but they're not in a solid connection because the Four of Cups is here. Something here is missing within this connection between these two. But they act like everything is okay.
Now she's talking about Chris
Something is missing within this connection
NJ
between her and this masculine. Somebody who
and
is
their
friends to be
relationship
happy and all
or
actuality,
situationship.
they're in misery.
They both don't love each other, but they stay together for the sake of pride.
This is somebody that's watching you too.
Cuckoo!
Okay, so this could be somebody
Codependency.
that's like a father figure I'm picking up. This King
A
of
father
Swords, and
figure.
that's somebody who's very stern. Yeah, a father figure. Like I said, somebody who's very stern in their energy. They watching you right along with this woman. Whoever it is that they in a fucked up relationship with, they both watching you.
They all are watching me.
And
You
they
don't
feel
know how
betrayed
many
by you.
people are
They
watching
feel
me.
you need to shut the fuck up, is what I
They
heard.
all think I need to shut the fuck up.
You need to shut the fuck
You
up.
don't know
and
how
sit
many
down
people
somewhere.
think I
You
need to
stop-
shut the fuck
Stop
up.
talking so much. And it's like they can't stop you. They can't touch you.
I don't shut the fuck up either. It's a real medical condition. I need to take pills for that shit. Well, this is tumor itself. I can take that's fish oil. But how the hell is that open?
This mother got, I heard gang. So this mother got a whole group of people watching.
Gang.
Yeah, and that's funny. I don't do gang spot because I realize my subscribers go up and they go down. It's like
My subscribers go up and down
I
too.
feel like I'm gonna get in my feelings about losing a few subscribers. Like
1 minute I have 800, the next minute I have 750. The next minute I have 751. The next minute I have 749. Yeah.
Because I'm still gaining as y'all are trying to take away. So please, unsubscribe. I don't need your
I don't need your subscription. I never need your subscriptions
Best believe they watching me, but they ain't saying shit.
at all. Because they ain't gonna step to my face. Why? Because they punk ass bitches. All of them. Ain't nobody stepped to my face the whole year that I've been here by myself. Ain't nobody got the courage to step out of their freaking little shelters.
Alright,
Come
give me another
see the
card.
boy. You heard me, Playboy.
I feel like y'all are loving on yourselves. Y'all are moving forward. Like y'all not even phased by these people because you know at the end of the day, God gonna handle them and they ain't even gonna see it coming. The Hierophant in the reverse with Page of Pentacles, God is gonna knock their heads fuck down. Now 29, and they ain't gonna see it coming.
No.
And this is gonna happen as you're enjoying yourself. You're loving on yourself. You're literally in this single, independent, vulnerable, earthly, world, emotional, nurturing, feminine
That's
energy. I
me.
just feel like y'all are so in tune with your divine feminine energy at this time.
I'm so divine feminine right now. Look at all the jewelry I'm wearing, boy.
Watching, sneak dissing, 7 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Somebody gonna try to sneak towards you. Ooh, somebody gonna try to sneak towards you.
They better not,
And I
because
did
if
say
they
that the
do,
Page
they
of Swords,
gonna get
it made its way out, right?
fucked up by an angel.
So, we're gonna clarify what this
And I'm
is.
not talking about me.
Why am I picking up that somebody gonna sneak up on the collective? Is this somebody from the family?
Could be.
Who is this planning on sneaking up on the collective as they love it on themselves?
Could be.
11/20? Ooh, that's my mama's birthday, bitch.
November what?
My mama
20th?
was thinking about motherfuckers sneaking up on
That's
me or
funny, because my
mama
mother's
was
birthday is in November too.
11/20.
Oh no, you said 11/20. Oh, wait. Yeah, that is 11.
Yeah.
November, December. Yeah.
And I'm look at the Queen of Cups. Yep.
That's a coincidence, isn't it?
The Six of Pentacles here, and I just seen the Ten of Swords right behind that. Look, the Ten of Swords is right behind that.
Right behind there.
I heard when it come apologize because she knows she messed up. Yep, the Knight of Cups when it brings in some type of message, some type of apology, because she knows she messed up. So, oh shit, something didn't happen or is about to happen.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I heard she felt like this is the only way out. So for some of y'all, this woman may feel like this is her only way out by coming towards you.
Chris's mom could do the same too.
Give me one
She
more.
be working magic against
Who
me
is this coming
ever
towards
since
you?
Lance
Just to clarify.
with his, oh, I sent some bad juju in you. Head ass nigga.
Who is this coming towards the collective? So let them know. Somebody's gonna come out and cut is what I heard. Like I just got a visual of like somebody who's been hiding behind the bushes. You tell them, come on out, come behind them damn bushes.
Hell yeah.
They come straggling through the motherfucking bushes like, yeah, that type energy.
That's actually happened before.
I feel like, yep, with the Queen of Cups in the reverse and the Five of Pentacles. What the? Look at God. Listen, I'm telling you, this is a mother energy.
I remember when me and my neighbors downstairs got the neighbors in the front upstairs kicked out of the apartment, and then they wound up going to jail for some warrants or whatnot. And then, like, I think 5 months later, they got released, and they were walking around the house trying to intimidate the kids downstairs because the parents weren't home. And I had to go outside with my strap, my fucking gun, in the holster, open carry, and walk up and down in front of the house and make sure that they knew that I was the one not to fuck with. I seen them there at the park, and they were chilling there, looking all bummy and shit. So then, like, I started walking around the block and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Walking up and down the block, walking around the block. Because it's open carry, you know? And then I seen them dip into the alleyway. So then I walked around the block, and then I walked up to the house, and then I walked through the backyard of our house to the alleyway. And then when I looked in the alleyway, I didn't see them. So then I was like, that's weird. I just saw them dip in the alleyway. So then I started walking down the alleyway to the park. And just as I got to the next house past my shed that's in the back of my house, I seen them standing behind the bushes contemplating. And I just stood there and I was like, what's up? And they're like, oh, he had to pee. There was 3 of them. And I was like, It takes three of y'all to go behind the bushes because one of y'all has to pee. And then one of them was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I was over here with them, but I'm not over there. I see you're a man of your business, so we're just gonna leave. And then two of them left off, and the one of them was like, oh man, blah, blah, blah. And he left off, and then they walked away from the house, away from the block. And I was like, yeah, don't come back. So I know exactly what she's talking about, but that's not the incident. That's something that's going to happen in the future. And that what happened in the past was to prepare me for the future.
You left out in the cold. You completely blocked this person.
I completely
You
block
blocked this
everybody.
person. And I feel as though she's gonna try to make her way back into your energy some way, somehow. Because she knows that you're guarded, that you're not having her shit.
That sounds
And
like
some of you are going to
Jade.
stop this woman completely in her tracks. Y'all need to stop this woman completely in her tracks. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want
I don't want to hear it. Like, whatever's been dead, the shit is
It's a
going to
no.
be dead. There's no rebirthing, rebuilding anything. We're done.
Where they do that at?
This
That
woman,
way.
this gonna leave this woman fucked up. Like,
Hoo-ha!
really, like, yeah, you're really fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
what did you think was gonna happen?
Lucy?
I heard playing all that sweet and nice shit ain't get you far now, did it? Damn.
Nope.
Damn. Somebody thought that they could play all nice and sweet and get you off your feet, and that you was gonna come right back to them,
Nope.
so they could take you out. Psych, nigga, you thought, nigga.
You thought wrong, nigga. Psych.
And then I
Psych,
said that thing
nigga.
that reminded me. Didn't I say when I asked who was this coming to as a collective, I seen 1120, which was my mother's birthday, and then I confirmed the energy. It's a mother, and it confirmed again. Right after that, it's a mother 1343. As I'm saying that, another confirmation. Like,
Unfortunately,
y'all left the toxic dynamic behind.
Chris
and it's
got
like,
Jade pregnant,
sorry for
and
you.
Jade got Jade pregnant
Sorry for
fucking
you.
with Chris. You dig? And they had a
Well, that's
miscarriage.
paper sport.
That was the first one.
So
And
I
the
feel like
second
she
one,
wanna come
they were
towards
gonna
you
keep,
and let you know.
but I
About
think
some
they
type
had a
of-
miscarriage again on purpose so
she
they
wanna
could
bring some type of
use
truth
the
towards you.
baby's essence
She wanna
in a
bring- she
magical
wanna bring
spell
some truth
against
towards
me.
you. It's like she
Life
don't wanna
for
fight
life.
anymore. And she been holding back from whatever
Choo
she did
choo.
because she feels, or now she feels guilty. She feels
Remorse.
when
Haha. I
she
knew it.
should have been by your side. So I feel like she wants to come talk to you about some type of sexual abuse that she knows that happened to you.
Everybody knows the sexual
She
abuse
wants
that
to bring some
happened to
type
me.
of truth to you.
I
Something
told
that she knows
everybody in the
hurt,
world.
which is why she has never
That's just
gone
not a
towards you.
secret.
Something that she was trying to block from you, she's being guided to come towards you and let you know.
You can't relate.
Knocks out your worst allergy symptoms.
You can't relate, son. Son!
At Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, we believe there's more goodness.
I'm not waiting no 15 minutes
She wants to come talk to you about some
for
type
no
of
damn
sexual
commercial.
abuse
My
that she
dog.
knows that
What is
happened
she
to you.
talking about?
She wants to bring some type of truth to you. Something that she knows is gonna hurt, which is why she has never brought it towards you. Something that she was
When I was 5, my 14-year-old female cousin molested me. And when I was 11, my 14-year-old female babysitter molested me. Not a secret anymore. Everybody knows about it. And it happened. Oh well, get over
trying
it.
to block from you, she's being guided to come towards you and let you know. And this definitely could have
It's
been
not an
about
accomplishment, and it's not nothing that sits on my mind.
Something that she didn't
I'm
want you
over
to,
it. I forgive and I forget.
remember. Yeah, something that she didn't want you to remember. She
Forgive
blocked the
and
shit with it
forget.
being unblocked. Like the 7 of Wands, I was trying to push it back in, but it said no. So I'm gonna put that out. And the sirens, oh my goodness, literally. So this woman may be going through some type of health issue.
Oh
She
yeah.
may know that she's about to get arrested.
Yeah, that too.
Which is why she want to bring this information towards you.
When she was working away from home with her boss at her house, watching her kids and running errands for her and stuff because her boss was going through a divorce, they did some fucked up shit to her boss's ex-husband, and she's gonna go to jail for it because her boss is gonna take her down with her because her boss is obviously crazy, and she thinks she's a tarot card reader, and she tells she's I think she reads tarot cards for her mother as well, Jay's mother, which I didn't really know until the day that I went over to the trailer to smoke with Bobby and give him back his air blower, and she was there, and I had already found out like a month before that her and her boyfriend, quote unquote ex fiance, were going through issues and they might split up. So when I seen them at the trailer, when I seen her at the trailer, I knew that they had split up. But when I was leaving, because I forgave her and shit, you know, borrowing $700 from me and never paying it back for her truck that she needed to go to work so she could potentially go to Florida, but instead she took the $700 and got the truck, said fuck work, got her boyfriend, and they hightailed it one morning to Florida without even thinking about paying me back. And it's been 3 years now, and they still have yet to pay me back. But I forgave them. I forgave both of them, and I'm gonna forgive both of them, and I'm gonna put it all in God's hands because that's what's the right thing to do in my case scenario. Because it's just money, and money isn't everything. Life isn't everything, but it is something more of a worth than money, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't pay people a lot of money to kidnap people and take their organs so they can sustain their life, like $500,000 for a liver, $600,000 for a kidney, $150,000 for a lung, $5 million for a heart. You can make a lot of money on the black market. I'm just saying I would never do it, but I know the prices.
I heard this woman knows she fucked up.
You know you done fucked up,
She
right?
need to get this off her
You know
chest.
that. You done fucked
This,
up.
she
You know
need
that,
to get
right?
this guilt that's weighing on
You
her
know you
shoulders
done fucked up.
off her chest. I feel like she been watching you and feel like she feel since she couldn't defeat you, it's like now she gotta face the fact that she gotta come bring you this truth, and it's really hurting her because I feel like she.
Tell me why it is that all these people are working against little old me and none of them have ever been able to successfully take little old me out. Is a whole coven of people gang stalking and working bad juju intention thought process magic and candle magic and sex magic and chaos magic, and I'm still here, live, breathing, happy, ecstatic. I'm more ecstatic to the point that I realize that you guys are all working against me and nothing's happened because you guys are weak, pathological liars who are pathetic in everything you try. Clearly, let me just tell you, you reap what you sow, And you guys have sowed some wicked seed. When your tree grows, that fruit will not succeed either. Yeah.
She didn't want to have to face this truth, which is why she did want to try to take you out. She didn't want to face the fact that she did what she did to you. She paid somebody to take advantage of you. She didn't want to have to face the fact that she is indeed a monster. But she's being forced.
Are we talking about Jay paying Michelle to rip my heart out and stomp on it? I know about that. I knew about that when she invited me over to celebrate. I have no clue what she was celebrating. I don't know if it was a birthday or some bull crap. But I got over there. I rode my bike over there, my electric bike over there. And as I got to the block, I see Chris leaving up out of that motherfucker. So I had already knew that me coming over there to help celebrate her was some bullshit. It's like I got there at the right time for the universe to show me everything that was going down. So yeah, it's all good, baby. I don't care. I forgive him too for being a worthless sack of shit since 2005, acting like he was my friend since 2005 to 2020. Yeah, had I known, because when I got here in 2005, I was already in a dark, dark, dark place, but I was still pretty positive. I was using my negativity for positivity transmutation. Y'all don't know nothing about. Probably because you guys don't do any research. You just like watch movies and think shit will happen or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, yeah,
To deal,
I know
16,
everything.
she's being forced to deal with those memories right now. She's being forced to look at you from afar and weep at how she tried to destroy someone so beautiful by keeping something so devastating, so life changing from her, something that can literally free you, something that can literally free you. She has been holding back for so long, which is why you were guided to walk away. When you leave things alone, God always brings in the karma. When you let
Yeah,
things go and let go of the control over the situation, God handles it.
yeah.
This woman has been watching you and she is preparing herself to bring you some truth.
Not
Because
right
her
now,
justice is about to be
because
served. And
she's
God is
watching,
slowly but surely
he's
edging this
watching,
woman day
and
by
they're
day.
looking at each other right
Two
now.
pentacles in the reverse to make this final decision, literally, to come towards you and let you know something about your childhood when you were sexually abused. And I feel as though she blinded you. Listen, she blinded you.
I literally just told you when I was 5, I got molested by my 14-year-old female cousin, while the rest of the family had went to Bible studies because I was sick, and she said she would take care of me. Oh, she took care of me all right. She took care of my penis going in her vagina. That's what she took care of. But regardless of the fact, that shit happened. Anyway, it's not an accomplishment, and it's not something to alter my existence or my reality, because I still am God, and I always will be. I will be here long after they have been gone, dead and deceased, or in food. I'll still be here till the very end. Not too many people are gonna get to see the aliens alien plan to come down with their spaceships. I'm talking about not the real aliens. I'm talking about the false aliens, the demonic aliens, the ones that they're going to try to use as a distraction so that it brings us all together for the one world government. Yeah, those aliens. Yeah, yeah.
From this shit. She paid some type of practitioner or did some type of voodoo, I heard, some type of
Her boss.
heavy ass magic. I promise you that because the devil card literally just fell out. No other card fell out, but the devil card fell out as I was saying that. She did something to blind you from this truth, to keep your memory from being able to recover this situation or to be able to remember this situation. And she never wanted to speak on it again. She just wanted to get rid of you so she wouldn't have to face it. But now she's being forced to face the secret. Join the growing field of
Yeah, whatever.
take charge of your future at Defy. Wow. Give me another card.
I will never stop.
I'm gonna get one more card, y'all. I'm gonna end this message.
I will never stop until you guys drop. Stop, drop, and roll because you guys are out of control. You get me, bro?
See, I was glad to not try to fight you, pick the card up and fail, but it was for a reason. So the card fell up right on the telephone.
Yeah.
And bottom of the day energy 94 rushing in about a man who took lustful action towards you. Somebody who had eyes for you as a child, as a teen, I heard. And that's the truth.
Now, listen to that one. That was Chris. Because he's bisexual. When I met him, I didn't realize that he liked me. You don't know how many countless times this boy has showed me pictures of traps, TRAPSs, which were males androgynous dressed up like females, and asked me, does she look like a girl? Yeah, as a boy. Huh. Why are you showing me this? It's a trap. Okay. Countless times. This is like every other damn time that we hung out, he was showing me trap pictures. It never clicked on me that he was bisexual until I started getting these freaking messages from tarot card readers. Yeah. And then it all just came together like doop, doop, doop. Chris is bisexual. That's great. I don't really care. Do what you do. Just don't try to do it to me. Because I'm not going down that road. Thank you. No, thank you. Which makes me glad that whenever I did spend the night over his mom's house with him and his brothers, I slept on the floor in the living room, not in his room.
So this woman has been carrying this weight on her
That landed right in the trash can. I can't even see the trash can.
for so long, stay blind to this and keep you blind to this for so long. But God is in this energy in this season, especially with the new moon in Taurus that's coming around. The planetary shifts that are happening are so powerful.
Yeah.
Listen, let me read this to y'all. On Friday, May 19th, we have the powerful new moon in Taurus. During this time, the sun, moon, Mercury, put in the work to open the doorway to your brightest futures.
That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Coincidentally, I watched this video the day before and didn't realize what she was even talking about. I mean, it just now clicked on me. And then today, I freaking slept most of the day. It was raining, kind of dreary. When I woke up, I started doing push-ups in my underwear. Not that that's any concern to you, but that's just what I did. I like literally woke up, went to go to the bathroom, came back in here, started doing push-ups, and then I started doing some stretches, and then I started thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go live on both my Facebook accounts and my YouTube account. And here we are at 12 o'clock in the evening, 12:30 on Saturday, right? Saturday, right? I have no clue. I can't see. The computer. Well, maybe it will tell me. Let's see. It should be either Saturday or Friday. It's 20th, definitely. It'll pop up eventually, maybe. And it will tell me. Let's continue.
Putting in the work to open doors to your brightest futures. This woman ain't got no bright future,
Nope.
but she is indeed about to experience her karma,
Yep.
which is that new life phase that she's about to walk into. And you're about to walk into your new phase, your new life after this happens.
Yeah.
This woman wants to bring some type of truth to you, literally.
Eh.
She's being guided to do this, and I feel like it's going to come very quickly, very suddenly.
Yeah.
It's going to come out of the blue, because like I said, you have this woman blocked, so she's going to have to find a way to try to contact you, get in contact with you. But when she does,
It's kind of weird too, cause I got her blocked on Facebook, but I don't got her blocked on TikTok. But I just blocked her earlier today because when I woke up, before I went to go take the bath, go take a piss, I checked my phone and I checked my TikTok, and she had posted a video telling people to come check her out on her new website or some shit like OnlyFans or some shit. I don't think it was OnlyFans because I think she made it OnlyFans and they teased the shit out of her because they were body shaming her, which is something that nobody should go through, but especially on OnlyFans. That's like fucked up to say the least, you know what I mean? But just the same, right? So I'm looking at the video and I'm like, Jade Mackay, the fuck? I don't subscribe to you. Why are you in my fucking it was on my friends feed, you know, when you go to friends and you start flipping through it, it's got all your friends, but it's got other people who aren't your friends on there too. And I'm just like, that's weird that she would pop up right now. And then I was like, block, blockity, block, 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 block. And then I flipped past it and I closed my phone. I went to the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's making a lot of sense.
the things that she's going to say, it's going to break your heart, but it's going to help free you from a lot of the shit that she has kept hidden from you.
Oh, I feel the chills. I feel the chills.
You knew. I said all this woman, all this time, woman, you knew I was sexually abused and you kept this from me. She knows that you're gonna hate her even more for how long and for how serious and how consistent she was with keeping this truth from you. Like you ain't gonna never want to reveal nothing with this woman again. I promise you. You're gonna be happier by yourself. You're gonna be good on your own.
I don't know nothing about that.
Myself.
She's much
That's the
younger than
truth.
me.
And the fact that I said that this woman gonna bring you some news about a man who she knows. So this man, I just heard this man paid her.
They're in a
So this
relationship.
man paid this woman to have sexual intercourse with you and let child as an in.
Let me just tell you, I don't know anything about that. I don't think that's even remotely possible. Because they're talking about my cousin now. And my cousin, she's grown with kids somewhere far away. I don't believe she's going to pop up out of nowhere and tell me about that shit that she got paid to have sex with me or whatever the fuck. Because that'd be weird as fuck. Like, that would literally be weird as fuck. Now, like, unless she tells me that my mother paid her or some shit, which would be really even more fucked up. But like, yeah, I don't know about that. If anything, I don't know. I know Chris borrowed $400 from me one freaking week. Tells me he'd give it back to me on Friday. It was to pay off his child support. And then that following night of the same day, Jade went on a date with somebody to a restaurant, and she wouldn't tell me who she was going on a date with, and it turned out to be him because he borrowed the money off of me to take her out. But he didn't tell me he was borrowing it to take her out, and she didn't tell me she was going out to dinner with him. Well, he gave me the money back, so like, I don't really care. But he didn't use it on child support because one of the freaking tarot card readers told me, like, yeah, it was a long time ago. You seen the list of freaking tarot card readings that I've had? For that person to know that my BFF borrowed money from me for a fictitious reason to take my twin flame out, and now they're going together, quote unquote, or their situationship together. It all just like, hits you in the freaking cranium, like, damn, bruh. You just don't know. You just don't know. It's quite daunting. Anyway,
For a lot of you, this could have been around the age of 3,
5,
4, 5.
Kettle cooked and air fried. It's a big day for chips. Hence the big air fryer.
We've got an air fryer!
Now, not everybody in the world is molested at 3, 4, 5, right? There are some people who are, but not everybody. And for this to pop up on my feed, and I just told you that I was molested at 5 by my older cousin who was 14. And then her to say, this happened when you were 3, 4, 5. Well, directly after living with my mother at 3, I moved in with my aunt, and then she kicked me out, and I moved in with my uncle. And he had me from 4 to 5. And then my grandparents took me slightly after that incident. I don't even know if they knew about it or whatnot. All I knew is they took me to the park. Well, it wasn't even my uncle, it was my aunt Roxanne took me to the park across the street from where my aunt lived on Front Street at the Soldiers and Sailors Park. I remember everything. It's uncanny how much I remember of everything. Anyway, she said that I would probably be better off living with my grandparents where my sister already was living. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Anyway,
And she could have did some black magic to you. This is very serious.
what's even more serious about it was my uncle was a Jehovah's Witness, my aunt, Jehovah's Witness, my three female cousins, Jehovah's Witness, and I was the Jehovah's Witness going to Kingdom Kingdom Come Hall is church for Jehovah's Witnesses. We pretty much went like other day, every other day, and sometimes we went on the weekend for Bible studies. I was introduced to religion at such a young age, and I remember going there and sitting in the front row, listening to the preachers and all that stuff, and sitting in the library of the church, you know what I'm saying, listening to the preachers in the background, but off with the other kids in the library or in the freaking kid room. There were always open doors, so you could always hear the sermons that were going on. But yeah, I had so much freaking Jehovah's Witness Bible studies. I was actually getting kind of bored of it, really. Yeah.
And this woman feels the need to come towards you with this truth because she now knows that she fucked with the wrong one. This whole time, she didn't know that you were this protected. But she always knew, thank you, Spirit, for pointing that out. When you came out, you had always had an angelic glow.
I always
When you came out, your light shined.
like the light
But she
shine
didn't want to
on
admit
me.
the fact that that's something that she's seen within you. She wanted to try to dim that light and did anything at any cost, literally, to try to dim that light, and then keep you away from knowing what happened. Like,
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
but because of how protected you are and because of the role that you came into this woman's life to play, a lot of you came into your mother's life or in this woman's life to teach her how to love, to teach her how to be there for herself. And I could be talking to a lot of women at this moment because look, we have the woman here.
She could be talking to a lot of women right now, not just my mother or my aunt or the girl who was supposed to be my twin flame. A lot of women. Look out now.
Walking away. Your mother was supposed to be your best friend, and you were supposed to be your mother's best friend. But instead, she chose other people over you.
She literally left me and my sister for my father and just left us with our family. Like, here, I gotta go after this guy. Blah! I don't blame her for it. I mean, hey, young 20-year-old children, it's kind of a new experience, you know what I'm saying? Try to do it on your own, especially if your husband or your, not husband, with your boyfriend who knocked you up, left because he wasn't trying to do anything. Yeah, I can understand. I can forgive and forget, you know what I'm saying? I have forgive and forget, and I have let God handle it.
2332, as I'm saying it. Everything you did for her, she did the complete opposite for you.
Yeah.
2333. What the fuck? Hold up. Don't be trying to confuse my words. 2332. I know what the fuck I was trying to say. Woman, listen, let me speak.
She's in her head right now.
But literally, everything you did for her, she did the complete opposite for you.
Yeah.
Which I heard was barely nothing.
Yeah.
Barely anything. The bare
Yeah.
minimum.
Yeah.
While she expected the world from you. You were giving her you while she was giving you the complete opposite.
I was a Stepford child, literally. But that's all right. Made me stronger.
I want to know that this woman really paid? Did this woman really pay this man? Or get paid by this man? What's going on here? Did this woman pay this man or did this man pay this woman? Because I know it was some money exchanged here. And benefits, I promise you that. And it must have been a big ass check. And the Four of Cups, the Hermit. It's like, this is the energy of, alright, you can pay me to fuck my daughter, you can pay me to fuck my son, but this only between us. We're gonna keep this secret. This is between us. Don't nobody need to know about this. Just us.
Just for a recollection, I was never fucked by anybody. I've never been molested by a man, ever. I would have remembered it clearly. And I would be like, yeah, I was molested by a man, but no, I was never molested by a man. I was molested by women. I know people who were molested by guys, but I'm not going to tell their story. This is not about them, it's about me. Yeah. Now, I could see my uncle paying my niece, sorry. I could see my uncle paying my cousin to fuck me. Or not fuck me, but like place my little 5-year-old penis in her 14-year-old vagina. And I can see his wife paying her daughter to do that. But yeah, I don't know. You know, whenever tarot card readers read your energy, they don't really have the specifics usually as far as male, female though. They can just sense the energies and your body can read off a certain way. Like me, I'm right now a divine feminine because I've been a divine masculine my whole life, you know, doing things that I knew would be right for a man, not feeling emotions and stuff like that, keeping everything to myself and stuff like that, and doing everything by myself and stuff like that. But recently, when I turned like, I want to say 38, and I went through the dark night of the soul, I started opening up to emotions more, and the divine feminine popped out. So literally, every reading that I get is by a female, and females usually relate the cards that they're reading to themselves, being females. Dudes do the same thing. I've had some dudes read cards and they relate it to the dude. It's just how card readers do, I guess. I don't know their psyche. Never know what's going through their minds. But yeah, if she's saying a guy fucked me, then she means a female fucked me. If she's saying I'm a divine feminine, then she means I'm a divine feminine, but I'm not a female. You can be divine feminine and be a male. You can be divine masculine and be a female. You can be karmic feminine and be a female and a male. You can be karmic masculine and be a male and a female. They can never see that. They can see the energies that the people leave, like in the relation and the situationship. Chris is a karmic female, and Jade is a karmic masculine. But they're both bisexual. So yeah, there's that.
We're gonna keep this shit hidden.
Sorry about that.
It's only between us. We're gonna gonna keep this secret. This is between us. Don't nobody need to know about this.
Don't
Just
nobody
us.
need to know.
We're gonna keep this shit hidden.
I'm getting hungry.
We're gonna keep this shit hidden. And only us will know about this
We got like
small
10 more minutes.
secret that we got. Literally.
10 more minutes and this is over with.
So this was
These commercials, man.
All that power.
I don't like to hate stuff, but I definitely dislike it. That went too fast.
more about this. Just us. We're gonna keep this shit hidden. We're gonna keep this shit hidden. And only us will know about this star, this secret that we got. Literally. So this was this was a secret payment. Okay, so did she spend this money?
I was just informed when you are watching somebody's video, but you are using incognito on your device, it doesn't show up as you're watching the video. So whoever's watching my video right now is on incognito so that it doesn't get traced back to them and it's not showing up. But they're watching.
So was this money like put in some type of savings for this child? Like did this man agree to set up some type of trust fund for this child instead of give the woman the money? For a lot of you, whoever this child ended up being intimate with did indeed have some type of secret check with this child's name on it. But he was also paying this mother for the interaction. And I do feel as though it was multiple times. Because we got a lot of money here with the Ten of Pentacles. There's a lot of money here that was flowing in. Justice, the King of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles, what I say. So he did have a secret trust fund, a secret. There's some money, bitch, out here with your name on it that this man has stashed for you. Something that's blocked away from you is about to be revealed to you. So this woman may actually tell you that. This woman may tell you that this man has some money for you. He has some money stashed. Oh my goodness.
That sounds like something my uncle would do because he's got a lot of money.
So this man that this woman was getting paid for or from for having intercourse with you ended up setting up a trust fund for you or setting up some type of account that has your name on it. You had to reach a certain age in order to receive this money. I'm hearing 18, 21, 24, 25. I don't know. But listen, this man, this woman is about to tell you that the man that she paid or received money from to be intimate with you saved you some money. I've been trying to get this money all my life, but I could never get it. It's because it was never yours, bitch. It's because it was never yours. This is indeed divine judgment. You don't have to worry no more. I feel like, collective, I feel like y'all was not supposed to live a life of stress, worry. I feel like y'all wasn't, I heard y'all wasn't supposed to work a day in your life. Once this man took your innocence, I feel like you felt guilty about it. Especially because of the.
So basically what she's saying is some man paid some girl to take my innocence and left me money. It's kind of weird because, you know, after I left my uncle's house, they started getting a whole bunch of house improvements and stuff like that. I don't know where they got all this money from, but when they finally not an in-ground surface pool with a deck around it in the backyard and garage and stuff like that. And then they sold that house. They had repainted, re-shingled, sidings and all that stuff, flowers around it, freaking walkways and stuff like that. And then they took their wealth and hightailed it up out of the state, all the way to Florida. And now, I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news or anything, but him and his wife aren't doing so good. Things split up, and they're depressed. Probably because, you know, you would think that Jehovah's Witnesses would stay married and together until death do them part because that's a holy union. But no, they're going through so much fucking grief and sorrow and depression, and it's really sad. It's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. But you know, I don't know. I'm just speculating on most of it because I don't see anybody cheating on anybody with either one of them. I wouldn't. Not that they, I'm weird or anything. I'm just saying I wouldn't. Anyway,
angelic energy that you carry. I mean, God needs to look at this light once again. Because of the angelic energy you carry, I feel like something happened to this man, though. But he felt guilty, which is why he ended up setting up some money on the side. Like and I just got a visual of like somebody trying to break into a safe box with like a bobby pin. So whoever this mother is, she has been trying to get into this money or get to this money for so long, but she could never get to it. Why am I picking up the energy that something happened to this man? What happened to this man?
before she says that, when we first got here to Monroe, Michigan, and we had gotten out of my grandparents' basement and got a little place on Conant Street, we needed our backyard mowed, and we didn't have a lawnmower. And my uncle came over in his F-150 truck with a brand new lawnmower and gave it to my mother and was like, be careful with it, don't break it. Of course, my little brother broke it, but because he's heavy-handed. But that's besides the point. The point was, he just gave us a brand new lawnmower out of nowhere. Like, I don't know if she asked him for it, because, we had neighbors, and they mowed their lawn. It's much easier to ask one of the neighbors to borrow their lawnmower as opposed to my uncle coming out of the blue with a lawnmower, brand new, to give to us. Like, that's kind of weird, if you ask me. Like, something he owed us, me, my mother. Yeah.
This woman is about to tell you that you got some secret money. And I feel like it's like the check gonna be dumb big.
Dumb big.
I promise you not. Like I heard you ain't gonna never worry about nothing else again. You ain't gonna worry about nothing else ever again.
Tell you the truth, I've always wanted to own a soup kitchen for the homeless people. I even asked my mother, because she likes to make food for large parties, if she would be one of the head chefs. And she said, yeah, I'll be the head chef, but I ain't gonna cook. I'll tell everybody else what to cook. I'm like, that's not what I asked you. Why would I want someone else to be the head chef and not cook? You know what I mean? I also wanted to open up hotels in each state. I don't know what I'm selling because I'm sure it's gonna go into Ethernet, and then some rich fucking person's gonna try my idea. But anyway, they're not gonna do it like me because I don't think they've ever taken the time to live in a homeless shelter before. But anyway, so I wanted to open up a bunch of old hotels and renovate them specifically for moving in homeless people and tell them as long as their shit is clean, you know what I'm saying, their piss and shit, as long as they're not doing any drugs, they can stay there rent free and we'll help them get jobs and stuff, get back into society, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Food and stuff free and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And then when I was in Arizona, I didn't have anywhere to stay. I like left here because I was being bombarded by cousins and I had to get away. And my psychic advisors told me, yeah, you're procrastinating. The only way to live your life the way you want to live your life is if you get your ass up out of that place, unroot yourself, and leave. Get the fuck as far away from there as possible. And the only place that I could think of to go was back to where I grew up, Yuma, Arizona. And that's exactly what I did. It took me 7 days on a 3 day bus trip because I had to stay in the freaking bus terminals. Like one day I had to stay 2 days, and then next time I had to stay 3 days. And I was traveling. I think it was December 28th. I was supposed to get there January 1st, January 2nd, so I could like spend New Year's. And I got there January 7th. No, 7th, on January 5th. Sorry. And it was way after New Year's. And I didn't get a chance to see the people that I went to go see because, you know, they never knew I was coming out there. I'm that good. And then, like, so I got out there and I didn't have any place to stay that night after I went to the casino and I ate some food and some fish and chips, you know what I'm saying? I paid $6 to play pool, billiards by myself. And it was already like, I want to say, when I finally got to Yuma, Arizona off the bus, it was at least 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was nighttime, whatever, about 3. So, and then casino place, so Lutz Casino, it's a restaurant. They closed at like, I want to say 11 or 10, 10:30, 11. So I got there at 7 and I spent my time there thinking about where I was going to crash on somebody's freaking street, sleeping outside with some bums. So I left there and I walked up this damn block, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at the homeless people and I was like, these motherfuckers got sheets and blankets. And I was like, damn, I need a sheet or a blanket. I got a blanket, but it's like a little freaking kitty blanket. Anyway, so I went back, sat down for a minute, went on my phone, looked for the nearest hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. I found it. It was like literally not even 4 or 5 blocks away. But it was a weird ass way to get there. Yeah, it is Saturday. That calendar finally popped up. Um, so I looked at the route to go down the street, and I started walking. And when I got to the end of Main Street, where the bridge was, there was no damn traffic light. There was no damn street lights. It was pitch black. I couldn't even see my fucking hand in front of my face. It was so dark. And I was like, wait a second. Is this a highway? There's no sidewalk. There's dirt. I got my luggage with me. Although I did open up a freaking I got a storage unit. When I first got there at 7 o'clock, luckily for me, the storage unit place hadn't closed yet, and I had already gotten the storage unit while I was in Phoenix. Before I got to Yuma, I called up and registered everything. So when I got there, I had the code already. The place was closed. I put the code in, gate open. I had a taxi cab with me. She drove me around there to it. I put the code in, gate open. She drove me around to the storage unit itself. I freaking bought a lock and shit for it, whatnot. I had to go to the store to get a lock before I went to the storage unit, obviously. And then I put all my bulky stuff into the fucking storage unit. I put my gun in the storage unit. I kept my knife, which is this knife right here. This big old, super illegal knife. Crocodile Dundee fucking knife, you dig? I kept that on me. And then I asked her to take me to a motherfucking motel where it was supposed to be $60 for a night, and I got there, and the lady said she let me register a room or whatever, and I told the cabbie she could go because I was gonna stay there, and she left, and then I'm registering my $60 room, and then she was like, okay, and taxes bring it to $80, and I was like, you just really scammed me, didn't you? That's what I said in my thoughts. I didn't say it out loud. So I paid her the $80 for the night, and I freaking went up to my room, and I took a long ass shower, and I had my clothes already folded up on the table with my my carry case bag and my food bag. I had a carrying case with food in it, you know what I'm saying? And I had my book bag. And then I took off my jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Took off my clothes, went, took a shower, came out, fucking, I had the heat on the whole time too, because it was cold in that room. And, you know, it was Yuma, Arizona, and I like the heat. That's one of the reasons why I like the heat, always, because of Yuma, Arizona. Living there from age 8, well, I say 7.5 to 14. But so yeah, I fucking finished off my Luke's Casino fish and chips because I got it to go. You know what I'm saying? I was eating there at the casino, and then I didn't really want to be there because there was already people there, and they were all staring at me, kids, adults, and shit. Because I was like, I guess the only black guy in there besides one of the chefs, and he served me, so it was really cool. I left him a tip, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'm eating the rest of my fish and chips, and I'm watching television and shit, and then I fucking went to sleep. And when I woke up the next morning, you know what I'm saying, I groomed myself or whatnot, got myself dressed, you know what I'm saying, went downstairs to freaking see the receptionist, but she had changed to a different receptionist, so she didn't know me or anything, so I was like, gonna ask the old receptionist a question or two, you know, the new receptionist, so I said, forget about it. And I went back up to my room, and I called the same cab lady, and she told me, like, that she was going to be half an hour later because she was eating breakfast or whatnot with her family. and I agreed. And then when she came to get me, I went back to Main Street, and my plan was to go visit the friend of the two friends that I went down there to see, who worked on Main Street, so that I could be like, tell them, I could just tell her the story and everything, I'm saying, about how I got out there and how I was here to see them and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I pulled on the door and the sign said open and it was locked. So I called the number and she said, I'm on my way to California. I got some business to handle, blah, blah, blah. I won't be back for the next 3 days. And without having the friends' numbers or, you know what I'm saying, address, I was asked out of luck. So I sat down outside Lutz Casino on the wall in the sun and I just pondered for myself and I asked God, what am I going to do? And something out of nowhere said, you're going to need a bed. Call a men's shelter. So I looked on my phone, looked for the closest men's shelter on Arizona Avenue, and I was like, Arizona Avenue, that's giving me a good feeling. So then I fucking called them, was like, you guys got any beds? And they was like, yeah, you're gonna have to take a piss test for drugs. And I was like, that's no problem, I'm clean, because I stopped smoking weed 2.5 months prior to going to Arizona. So I was super clean, you know what I'm saying? So they sent, oh no. So I called up the cab lady again and I asked her if she'd take me over there after asking if she knew where it was. And she took me over there and I signed up to be registered in there. I couldn't get registered until 6 o'clock that evening, but I was already there at 12 o'clock. So I had to like just basically walk around the premises of the Crossroad missionary until 6 o'clock because the nurse wasn't gonna be around till 6 o'clock, and I had to be piss test and I had to be COVID test before I could even stay there. So I was just walking around, looking at all the dirt and shit, and feeling the heat. I happened to see a quarry area where they had these big blocks of cement stacked on each other, making walls. And out of nowhere, I got deja vu. And I started remembering about having dreams, reoccurring dreams of being there in that place back when I lived in New Jersey, long before I even lived in Michigan. And I lived in Michigan for 12 years. I lived in New Jersey for 18 years. But prior to me coming to Michigan, I was having these reoccurring dreams because I was possessed by the Legion. That's a whole long another story. But it was this little fucking scruffy dog that used to go around homeless people all the time in my dream. And he lived in the quarry with homeless people. And he had like a hole in a fucking mound of dirt where he'd go in and stuff like that. And those cinder blocks were formed on the wall over there. And this is all in a dream. So when I got there some 12 years later, it all started coming back to me. I was like, what in the hell? Am I really here in my dream? Like, this is some weird shit. So then 6 o'clock came, and I passed both the tests, and they gave me a freaking boat, which is a bed cot. And they gave me a mattress, and they allowed me to take a shower and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They told me when breakfast was gonna be. And I put my cot down, put my boat down, you know what I'm saying? I put my bed down, and I went to sleep. And the next morning, started my whole month of living in a homeless shelter. Coincidentally, I always wanted to open a homeless shelter. And staying there for a month gave me perfect opportunity to learn how to run a homeless shelter properly. So yeah, if I ever do get like oodles and oodles and oodles of money, you best believe I'm opening up a whole armada of homeless shelters. And I'm gonna run them shits right into heaven.
What happened to this man that I'm picking up on, Father God? Help me understand the energy here.
You might be energy.
What's going on here, Father? So we got the Empress card, the Eight of Cups in reverse, the Six of Swords. So this man may have.
Zappos Joy Fest is where you'll find your favorite brands like Dansko. Find joyous deals at Zappos now.
Green Mountain Coffee.
I cannot. I do not like commercials on YouTube, man. Unless
So we
it's
got
on
the
my
Empress
YouTube.
card, the Eight of Cups in reverse, the Six of Swords. So this man may have. Okay, so why am I picking up that this masculine? This masculine is like a spirit god of yours. Because this Empress card, and I'm looking at this old white man right here. It's like
Oh,
somebody who is very powerful, but not.
I think she's talking about John now. See, John I met while I was in the homeless shelter, and he was hypoglycemic. I know this because my ex best, well, not best friend, but my ex white friend was a hypoglycemic, and I learned this early in our freaking relationship together. Not relationship, like anything can be a relationship. You can be in a relationship with your brother and your sister. You can be in a relationship with your mother and your father. Yeah, you can be in a relationship with your friends. Okay. Anyway, because every time that he had not eaten, he would get really weak and really tired and couldn't sustain himself. He'd be like out of his mind, talking stupid and slurring and pass the fuck out, cramping and shit. So when I met him, John, in the homeless shelter, I want to say it was about a week before, maybe a week before, yeah, it was about a week before I left back to here to Michigan. Um, he was really discoherent, but I could understand what he was trying to say. So I would finish his sentences a lot. You know, when we were having conversations, it would be about the world and stuff like that, the coming fall of the economy, and the world, one world government and stuff like that. And he also told me about how he was about to sue everybody that's been doing him wrong. Like he's told me about his inventions that he had made, and people did him wrong, so he couldn't get paid for his inventions. But he has more inventions. He was telling me how he was a voiceover at Disney, and something happened there where uh, he had to leave early and couldn't freaking come back because his friend had gotten into a horrible accident, and he had to take all his invention money and his voiceover money, which was like oodles and oodles of money, and put it into her freaking health care account to get her better because she couldn't work, she couldn't do anything, she was overweight, and she had gotten into a big freaking accident. And since they were friends earlier on in the time that he had all the money, she had helped him out like when no one else helped him out. So he felt obligated to help her out when nobody would come to her rescue because they thought that she was worthless or some shit. So he nursed her with all his money back to fucking physical health. And then he needed some help and he got freaking um, kicked out of the place that he couldn't pay rent for, and he had to stay in a hotel where he had a little bit of money saved up where he could get to access to that for it. And the hotel kicked him out because he had gotten into a fight there with one of the attendants that was staying there. One of the tenants that was staying there was obviously a crazy man staying there, and he like jacked him up, punched him in the face and stuff, and like the hotel was secretly overcharging him money, stealing his money right underneath his nose because he was an old white man or whatnot. Older white man, not old. He was old when I seen him, whatever, but he wasn't. It was just hyperglycemia acting up. When I seen him, he could barely stand up. He would sit with shorts on in a cold ass cafeteria, and everybody would see him jittering, shaking and shit. And we thought he was cold, you know, but he was literally out of power, out of energy. And he was slurring his words, and he was discoherent, but he still made sense, like I could understand what he was trying to get out. So the whole time that he was there, I was getting his boat before I got my boat. I would get his mattresses before I got my mattresses. And everybody else wouldn't help him. And we were in a Christian crossroads missionary where every day they would have, and it was also for like people who went to jail who were using drugs and their probation or parole, whatever, made them go there because they had a rehabilitation center there to get off drugs. So they had the AA meetings and stuff like that that they had mandatory. They had to go to, and they had the preachers come in every day after dinner to freaking preach to them about God and stuff like that and how they should recover from their drugs and alcohol abuse. And all the preachers were ex-offenders and stuff like that, you know. The counselors, not the counselors, but the resident advisors that were there were ex-offenders and shit and abusers. So they all related to each other, but they didn't relate to John or me. And I was literally sent there to help. I was literally sent there to help by God because he showed me that place 12 years in advance in reoccurring dreams that I had in New Jersey. And everything happens for a reason. And I've always had reoccurring dreams. I still have reoccurring dreams to this day about things that still have yet to happen. Anyway, like when I was in Jersey, I had recurring dreams about coming to Michigan to live and riding my bike and riding in cars with people, going places, going to clubs and stuff like that, and flying, which wasn't really flying. It was flying over the sidewalk. It was basically, I see myself flying over the sidewalk with my, not flying over the sidewalk, but running over the sidewalk like a dog with my legs and stuff. And then I would let my hands go and I'll let my legs go and I just hover over the sidewalk. But when I got here, I wasn't flying. I was just riding my bicycle over the sidewalk. And sometimes I would stop pedaling, and sometimes I would let my hands go off of the handlebars because I could ride without, hands and stuff like that. But eventually, in 2019, I got electric bikes and motor scooters and stuff like that. Well, not the motor scooters because I can't ride those on sidewalks, but the electric bikes, I can ride those in the sidewalk without pedaling. And I can ride them without hands. So literally, I'd be flying down sidewalks all day, every day, all day, every day. And although I can only see in my dreams through my own perspective, through my eyes, I can't see what I was flying on because I'm not paying attention to that, looking straight ahead. But regardless of the fact, so John and me shared so much time together. He sun gazed, I sun gazed, you know what I'm saying? We had a lot of long conversations about just everything. He said he was going to sue Disney because they weren't letting him come back and work for him, but they had him working for him already. But it turns out that they said that he can come back and work for them, like after the fact, after I left Arizona. When I left Arizona, I left him with my number because he was talking to the people in his group of crisis related, I forgot, people in crisis, yeah, where his friend who he helped back to, he nursed back to health, she was literally in charge of this whole people in crisis thing where they help people who are in crisis all over, whoever's their clients and stuff. She just wanted to help him, but she found out that she could only help him if she helped like 12 other people. So that's what they do. They help people in crisis. And she gets him whatever he asks for. He asks for Kachaba, whatever the heck that is, some healthy drink. He gets Kachaba. You know what I'm saying? He needs something, she helps him get it. They're helping him get his ID and stuff back because he was robbed. And they took everything from him. They took his money, they took his credentials, and he got robbed while he was staying in the hotel. And since he couldn't pay for the hotel, they kicked him out. And that's a bunch of fuckery. Eventually, between that time and him staying in the shelter with me, he went to jail for something because he was acting discoherent and somebody thought that he was crazy or something. So then the judge was like, oh, you gotta go stay in a shelter until you can get back on your feet, blah, blah, blah. So then he was there, put in my shelter, our shelter, that shelter. And everybody just didn't understand him or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Moving on right along to the last few days of me staying there, before I knew I had to come back, I gave him my number because he was talking to Lana on the phone, which is the girl he helped back to nurse back to health. I don't know why I keep on saying that backwards. And I gave him one of my business cards so that he would never lose my number, and he gave it to Lana. So after I left there, and I had this gay black guy who started staying there the week that I was like showing everybody. John came in that week, and the black guy came in that week. The black guy was befriending me because I was the only other black guy that was homeless in the homeless part. The other black guy was an asshole from Chicago, and he was in the alcohols and drug part where everybody in the drug and alcohol part, they got a room to stay in with. It was one big room with like 20 freaking bunk beds, and they all slept together. So they all had their own thing, you know what I'm saying? AA and stuff like that. Everybody that was homeless had to stay in the cafeteria on cots and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so the black guy is relating to me because I'm black, and he sung gazes and stuff like that. But he was gay, so he didn't really relate that much to me. He thought I was gay too because I was divine feminine. You dig? So when I left, I appointed the black guy to take care of John's bedding so that John could stay there longer. So I told the black guy, before you get your bed, you know what I'm saying, get his bed and put it where it has to be and get his mattresses and put him on the bed. And when you get up in the morning, pick up his bed, his tub, you know what I'm saying, that's a tub, I mean boat and stuff like that. And he agreed, and that's who helped him until he got kicked out of there because he was fasting because he knows all about nature, not nature, but like health and stuff like that. It's just without the certain foods that he needs to keep his hyperglycemia down, he goes into these fits where he can't do anything about it. And the foods that they had in these homeless shelters wasn't the food that he eats. Plus, his teeth were like literally about to all fall out. It was so weak. And he couldn't really chew anything. I actually had gave him some chicken when they were serving food that I didn't eat because I didn't eat red meat. So I would go to the store that they owned down the street prior to dinner and lunch and stuff, and I would buy um, chicken and fish in the pouches, and then I would put them in my locker outside because it was a locker outside, and inside the locker was pretty cool, pretty cool. At night, it get like ice cold out there because we're in the desert, you know. And in the morning, well, the lockers were old airport lockers inside a fenced-in area underneath an awning. So it was always cold up in there or whatnot. So I ain't worried about, food poisoning or anything like that. I just put them in my freaking food storage container, and to put the container in the locker, and it kept everything nice and chill. Salad dressing and stuff like that. So I made chicken, and I noticed he wasn't eating that day. So I gave him one of my chickens, you know what I'm saying? Freaking chicken breasts, so he could chew on that. And it took him 2 hours to eat one bite of chicken because he could barely crunch on it and stuff like that. So after a while, I just started giving him like ramen noodles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Freaking popcorn and shit. So he remembered me feeding him, me helping him out with his bed, me showing him company like a normal person as opposed to everybody else ignoring him and not showing him any love or whatnot. So when I left, I had been gone for about a week when him and Lana called me on the phone and asked me, well, Lana called me on the phone before he called me, or before she called him, and asked me if I would be all right with a week throughout the month just to keep his high hopes up, to keep him alive, because he was more depressed that I was gone than he was when he had gotten there, because nobody treated him like an equal, but I treated him like an equal. And, that's what I like to do. I like to treat people like equals unless you show me otherwise, like I can't treat you like an equal or whatnot. So basically, he put me on his insurance. He put Lana on his insurance. He was trying to put other people on his insurance that he liked. I think he's bisexual. That's another story. I'm not getting into that because I'm not bisexual, and I already told him that. Let's just keep that up like that. But he loves me, and I love him as a brother or father, because I always wanted a father that was dedicated and not would leave me when I'm 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, basically, he's not there no more. He's in a whole nother place, and Lana helped him get into the dentist so he can get his teeth fixed. Lana's helping him get his ID back and social security numbers and stuff like that, his card or whatever, all his credentials and stuff, his passport and shit, because eventually they're going to, he's got a lawyer. She helped him get a lawyer and stuff like that, and the lawyer's gonna help them sue a lot of people. And once they do, he's getting the hell up out of this country, and I'm going with him wherever he goes.
Within your vision, somebody who's not around you, somebody who is around you, like this white, like the wise man right here, the white hair,
White
he's sitting
hair,
right here,
wise man.
but it's like he's not being recognized by the other two people. Like that's, I was trying to figure out how to say it. Like he's not being recognized, so it's like this person is.
He's not being recognized by anybody except for Lana and me and the lawyer.
Around their spirit is powerful. So okay, so I'm picking up this person may have passed away. This person may have definitely passed away, which is why
He ain't
this
passed
woman
away
has
yet.
been trying to take you out as well. It's like tying up all loose ends so that she can finally have access to the money to herself, but she could never get rid of you. Look, I'm looking at my teacup as I said that she could never get rid of you. This cup has like this fucking fish is looking dead at me like God was looking dead at this woman the whole entire time she was trying to steal from you. And this man, thank you, but I feel like he's here with me right now. Literally, whoever this man is, he's very powerful. Very powerful. And I feel as though he was very intuitive, which is why he felt guilty because he knew that you were special. At least he figured that out.
For some odd reason, she's like trying to tell me that he is waiting to fast for 3 days before me and him and her can have a conversation together. But like me and her, Lana, had a fight together because I tried to tell her about herself and she didn't like that. But she likes to tell me about myself and doesn't see a problem with that, which is really ironic that you can tell somebody about themselves, but you don't like to be told about yourself. She denied everything that I said. I'm not like that. And I'm like, you literally are. And then she was like, I don't like to judge people. You look like this, that, and the third. You seem to be like this, that, and the third. I'm like, you're literally judging me right now. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We can't have this conversation together. I would really appreciate it if you don't call me no more. I'm like, click. And then I didn't talk to her for like a whole half a month. But then I started calling John separately. finding out what he was doing, finding out that she wasn't treating him right or something like that. And then I texted her that I was calling him, and I told her what he had said, and she tried to deny that. Like this is coming from the horse's mouth, and she tried to deny that. Anyway, I gained the courage to semi apologize to her for, being right, obviously, but I ain't say that. And then this was like 2 days after I had called him. I told her that I had been calling him separately without her. And then out of nowhere, she texted me one morning saying, he told me to tell you that they have him working uh, chores or whatnot in the little shelter that he's in, and he's not in the right state of mind to be talking to anybody, including her, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, today, she told me some shit where she was like, he said, after 3 days of fasting, if he feels like talking to anybody, he'll let me and her talk to him together. And I'm like, this sounds really fugazi as fuck. Like, she doesn't want me to talk to him no more. I should have never told her that I was talking to him. But anyway,
After he did what he did, after he entered you, he realized that you were indeed special and that he would indeed regret whatever the fuck he did. And I feel like
I don't know nothing
his
about
karma
that.
was to die in a very harsh way.
That sounds kind of weird, like
And it
nature
could have been due to a woman here.
Yeah.
I heard he left too soon. Something was too sudden with the Eight of Cups and the reverse. So yeah, this masculine left you some money behind. Whoever this was, I feel like this person was very fond of you. You may have memories or flashbacks of this person, but you can't fully remember the scenes and where this person was touching on you being intimate. And it's
I don't know about none of that.
after these acts, what happened, and your mother will receive this money, or this woman will receive this
See,
money.
like, wait a second. There was another man, but I don't think that happened either. And that was Ed, white man, white hair. He gave me a fucking silver dollar for my birthday when she was working as his secretary. We also went to his house a couple of times when he had to do something business wise, but like he wasn't there and she was there and I was there and she was like doing some secretary work in his house. But he took us out to eat for my birthday. For my birthday. He didn't take us out to eat for my sister's birthday, which was a month before my birthday. He didn't take us out to eat for my little brother's birthday, which was in October. He didn't take us out to eat for my mother's birthday, which was in November. But in July, he took us out to eat at an Indian restaurant in Hoboken, New Jersey, or Hoboken, New York, sorry. Um, and gave me a silver dollar. I was 14. No, I was 15. I turned 15. And he never touched me.
She would cook you a nice dinner, and she would pay a practitioner, or she would do something with your food. Some type of extreme magic here. Like she was very, very adamant on trying to make you forget. And possibly when they get older, then maybe they won't ever remember. But because you started awakening, this woman started plotting on how she could take your life because it was like you started doing too much, or you started waking up and seeing too much. You started knowing too much. And this woman panicking. What do I do? What do I do? And the only thing she could think of was to take you out because she didn't want you to realize that there was some money out here with your name on it. 3303 as I'm saying this. She didn't want you to wake up and realize that there was some money out here with your name on it the whole time. And she was the one trying to steal it. But now she ain't got no choice to bring you this shoe. Period. Period. She ain't got no choice but to bring you this shoe. I don't even know how the hell the second source ended up at the bottom of the deck energy. Did I just shuffle the deck? I don't know. I just zoned out because I started talking. But listen, it is what it is. And I'm going to end this message here. This woman can try it, but she won't succeed. Period. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening to this message. I truly appreciate it, every single one of you. Thanks so much for all the likes, the comments, the shares, the subscribes. And I hope to see you all again in the next video. Peace.
Well, that was something, wasn't it? I think so. So, 2 hours in the spirit world. You won't believe this. We are just going to leave it at that. And we're going to get up out of here. Homeland. There is a promise. It seems far in the distance. I put it on the altar, so it was mine. I put it on the altar. There's a city that we have not seen. We're all waiting in the in-between. We're all seeking our homeland. 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 I've been a traveler, a destination is unknown. I've been a traveler. I've been a foreigner, with no place to call my home. I've been a foreigner. There's a greater city that we have not seen. We're all waiting in the in-between. We're all seeking our homeland. 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 Oh. You saw. You set your seal upon us, your spirit lives inside us, it's a guarantee. Your presence is upon us, until we meet in eternity. We're all seeking our homeland, 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 homeland. is that